Hello and welcome to A Sunny Book Nook. Today I'm going to be doing a Q&A video. I hit 1,000 subscribers on this channel recently. Really thankful for everyone who chose to subscribe to me because that's just crazy that people want to listen to me talk about books. I collected some questions over the course of the past couple weeks, and I'm just gonna be answering them. I'm gonna open up my laptop. So the first question I have here is from Belle Can Read, and she said, "Congrats! Who are some of your favorite musical artists, and what's something you wish you could tell yourself from 5 years ago?" Thanks so much for the congratulations, Belle. And my favorite musical artists, right now, are probably the Marias. Lorde is a staple, and Chloe X Howell for sure. In terms of what's something I wish I could tell myself 5 years ago, I wish I could tell myself to stop idolizing people and stop looking up to the people that I looked up to because they're not that great. My friend Face Masks and Fiction commented, "Congrats again. Thank you. Any podcast, movie, or show recommendations?" The only podcast that I really listen to is The Bookstore, which is like a book club podcast where they discuss a book every other week. My favorite movies of all time are definitely The Handmaiden, Assassination Nation. I really liked Portrait of a Lady on Fire, and Harley Quinn's Birds of Prey. She said, "Any tips, tricks, or advice for new booktubers?" And for that, I would just say, make the content that you want to see. I don't know if that's good advice, but there you go. Snail Diary 7 a.m. said, "What's your sun, moon, and rising?" So my sun sign is Cancer, my moon sign is Capricorn, and my rising is in Gemini. If you could live inside a book, which would you choose? If I could live inside a book, I would want to live in a very cottagecore fantasy kind of situation. So maybe in Anne of Green Gables or The Secret Garden. I would love to live in a giant manor castle that has a secret garden. Do you have any booktubers you would recommend that read similar nonfiction books that you read? To be honest, no. I haven't found anyone who makes booktube videos who reads similar nonfiction books that I do. And that's honestly part of why I made this channel, because I felt like there was a hole in the nonfiction realm. If you have any people that you know of who are making nonfiction content that you like, let me know. Amanda Williams said, "Favorite TV series? If you had to live in a different decade, which would you pick? Top 3 booktubers you'd recommend." So for my favorite TV series, I honestly don't really watch that much TV, but if I had to just say shows that I've enjoyed, I really like the DC Harley Quinn cartoon. I also like Avatar: The Last Airbender, and I really enjoyed HBO's Euphoria. And if I had to live in a different decade, I would probably pick the 60s or 70s, because I would have loved to be amidst the height of the civil rights movement and the anti-war movement. That's kind of nerdy, but yeah, I would have loved to experience the energy of that time and learn things from a first-hand perspective, because I feel like I've read so much and read so many accounts of things that were going on in the 60s and the 70s, and I kind of just wish I was there. And top 3 booktubers I'd recommend. I don't want to be basic with this because I feel like a lot of us watch the same booktubers. Really like My Name is Marines. Love her content. I think she's so intelligent in her analysis of books. I really trust her. I also really like Alicia Reeds. Her recommendations are always things that I'm adding to my Goodreads want to read list. I also love Rincey Reads. I think that she also reads a really interesting selection of books. I love hearing her kind of critical analyses and thoughts on those. Grace D asks, what was your favorite book when you were young? It depends on like what age, I guess. My favorite book in middle school was probably either the Anne of Green Gables series, because I was just really invested in Anne's life, I guess. Or maybe Jane Eyre. I really liked Jane Eyre when I was in middle school. Olivia from Mars asks, how did your passion for photography start? And honestly, I just really liked taking pictures on my phone when I was a kid. Like, I just liked taking little iPhone pictures. And then I was like, I should probably figure out how to use a camera. So then I figured that out. And yeah, that was basically how my passion budded, I guess. And Bra Potatoes says, do you listen to Girl in Red? Yes. I have some of her songs on some of my playlists. And also any song recs. Let me look on my playlist. I really like the Sophie remix of the Fletcher song Forever. That's something I've been bumping recently. I also really like, right now I also adore XS from by Rina Sawayama. And one of my all-time favorite songs probably is definitely Ruthless. I'm gonna head over to Twitter and see what people had commented. Face Masks and Fiction again commented on my Twitter post, and she asked, are there any books you read just because everyone else was reading it? Yes, I read The Cruel Prince because everyone loved it, and I thought it was like okay, I guess. She also asked, have you thought of incorporating lifestyle videos into your booktube channel, vlogs, photography tips, that kind of stuff? And yeah, I have thought about it, but I'm not really sure if that's a direction I can feasibly go into because of just technical issues regarding like vlogging. I can't carry around my heavy ass camera. I am not the type of person who likes watching vlog content. Usually, I really like Books and Lala's like themed vlogs, but besides that, I'm just not a big vlog watcher, so it's just not something that and I'm also not someone who watches a lot of like lifestyle YouTube content, so it's just not something that I feel like I would be good at creating because I don't really consume a lot of that, if that makes sense. At Side Citra asked, I think her name's Amara, but I'm sorry if that's not true. She says, what made you decide to start BookTube? What made me decide to start BookTube was I tried to start a BookTube channel like several years ago, but that died off because I just didn't have the time or the energy to. And then the pandemic happened and I was just stuck at home, so I was like, oh, well, why not, you know? Which is when I started really picking up steam in terms of putting out content. I mean, I was putting out content towards the end of 2019 and for the beginning of 2020, but I feel like I only started doing like BookTube probably in March. Her second question was, what's your best and worst parts of the community? In terms of the worst parts, it's definitely really like insular. And the drama that like happens on Twitter or whatever is it feels very like performative outragey. And I just can't keep on top of it a lot of the time. But the best part of the community is definitely just the people that I've met. That's kind of a basic answer, but there's just so many cool people who like to read that are cool. And that's awesome. And what's the worst BookTube drama you've experienced? A BookTube drama that I kind of witnessed play out was what happened with the Reading Rush readathon. Oh my god. Yeah, that was really bad. That was some bad drama. And the last question she has in this message is, anything you wish you had done differently? I wish that I had started getting into audiobooks way earlier. And that was another question I got. At Just Mani on Instagram had asked me, how do you read so many books every month? And it's really like audiobooks, honestly. At Cozy Bex asked, What's your favorite aspect of making videos? And what book is most similar to your life? My favorite aspect of making videos is definitely just the creative process of it. I like the technical elements of like setting up a camera and then editing and trying to just like create content that is appealing, watchable, and also being able to articulate my thoughts on books. I really like it. I like every part of it pretty much. I don't think I've ever read a book where I was like, wow, this reminds me of my life. I don't know. I feel like maybe it's because I have an overinflated sense of myself and my ego, in which I'm like, oh, I'm so unique. No one's ever written a story that reminds me of my own life. I think the last question I'm going to answer is Rachel at Let Me in the. What's been your best book in the last 2 months? I can't answer this question because I've read too many really good books in the past 2 months, and I can't even distinguish what books I've read in the past 2 months. Like, I just don't remember. I don't have a favorite, because a lot of them are just good and like favorites of mine on different levels and in different wavelengths. Like, books are different, so the way that I like them is not necessarily in the quantity of how much I like it, but it's just like the different ways that I like those books, if that makes sense. Which book are you most excited to read next? A book I'm really excited to read is definitely Socialist Realism. I'm excited to get to that one. And any hints about new videos to come? I think I'm gonna try to make a road trip TBR because I'm going on an 18-hour road trip in the near future. So I'm trying to think of what books I want to bring with me and what books I want to read. So yeah. So that is everything. That is all the questions I'm gonna answer. And again, thank you guys so much for this 1,000 subscriber milestone. I really did not expect this level of engagement. Again, thank you for watching, and like, comment, subscribe, all that stupid bullshit, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!